Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who does estate planning, focusing on long-term care needs, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. Today I wanted to touch on a complicated topic, and that's one of what to do when your aging parent or your aging relative refuses to give up control, and it is now at a point where maybe they are not making the wisest decisions, and they should be in a position where others should be stepping in to help them, but they refuse the assistance of their caring loved ones that would like to protect them. It's a common theme that I hear in my office. An adult child will reach out to my office and just be exacerbated because they see that their aging parent may be exhibiting some signs of dementia or capacity type issues. They're not certain, and then when they review the bank accounts or financial statements of their relative, they notice that their relative has been giving another relative lots of money. And so they think now that there's a predatory family member who is taking advantage of their parent, and their parent then, when questioned about it, will either become defensive or say that they had to give the money to them because of whatever sad story that person gave them, or whatever obligation that they feel that they are obligated as their parent to continue to support an adult child who might be predatory or might just have their own issues that they need to adult and take care of in their life, and not be seeking constant bailout from their aging parent at that juncture in their life, and that maybe they just need to suffer some repercussions of their own poor decisions instead of having their aging parent bail out the money. It's a source of family contention because there's one adult child or one set of adult children who are concerned that their aging parent is going to run out of money right when they really need this money for long-term care needs, when they realize that their medical care is going to be needs are going to be increasing, and that they might need a home health nurse or an aide to be able to assist them, and their parents' entire legacy would be gone because of a predatory family member who is abusing their position and may be taking advantage of this aging parent. There's all kinds of layers in these issues, because now you have concerns about capacity, you have concerns about somebody being financially victimized by their own family member, and it's common, unfortunately, the majority of the financial abuse, elder abuse that is financial abuse, does happen at the hands of family members, where a younger generation engages in predatory behavior and financially abuses the older generation. So families come to me in a desperate time, and they just want to know, what can they do to protect their loved one? What can we put in place? And how do we handle an aging adult who is just digs their heels in and becomes obstinate and just refuses to release their control? Should your family have a family trust in place? One of the things you might want to look at is, what does it say about successor trustees? What's necessary? And you may want to then have the family meeting or a conversation with your loved one and ask them to step down as trustee and allow their successor trustee, who they had picked when they had the trust created and drafted, and just allow them to step in and take over at this juncture and essentially alleviate a burden from the elderly person, so that way they can just not have to deal with those stressful conversations of the predatory person always asking for money. Should you not have a family trust in place, you could see if your elderly parent has a durable power of attorney in place, who did they name as their agent, and ask them if they would be agreeable to work with their agent more closely, and then have that agent step in and try to nip the predatory behavior, and stop it, so that way you can protect the aging parent's legacy and their financial resources, so that way they will be able to age with grace and dignity and have the monies to afford the care that is anticipated. And of course, if these sort of family meetings and family interventions don't work, you might want to seek out therapy with a therapist to have these conversations. That many times is helpful. If therapy doesn't work, there are legal avenues that you can pursue that involve going to court and involve disclosing financial abuse and naming names, and whether it's putting in a guardianship in place for your aging adult, or having somebody having a petition for a vulnerable adult, where in Florida, we can petition for protection of a vulnerable adult, and go through that process. Those are judicial processes. They are not cheap. They are not easy. They are time consuming, but they may be necessary, so that way your adult parent, your aging parent, will be able to have their legacy protected before everything is drained and they are left with nothing right when they need it the most. So I hope that this information has been helpful to you. I know that none of these conversations are easy. If this is a concern of yours, I encourage you to reach out to your elder law attorney. I encourage you as a family to just have open dialogues and talk about, what does the trust document read? Who is your agent if you have a durable power of attorney? How does this work? And just be in open communication, so that way you can address these issues. Be in communication with healthcare providers to see if it is something that where your aging parent should be seeking out and getting a diagnosis if you think that they're having cognitive issues and impairment issues. They can then get the medical treatment that they need. Early diagnosis is super important. So again, I hope that this information has been helpful to you. If it has, I ask that you like and share with others. Thank you for joining me.